Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. This is chapter 1140 of One Piece. Without any delay, let's dive right into it. Chapter 1140, Scapa Gaban. Cover story, Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 26. If anything happens to P.E.Tan, I will follow you to the deepest depths of hell and kill you there. Altai is tied to a dartboard, threatening Who's Who, while he casually throws knives at her. The scene picks up right where the last chapter left off. Luffy stands face-to-face with Scapa Gaban, his fists clenched, his brows furrowed in confusion. Luffy's frustration is clear as he shouts. Luffy, angrily, Road. What's going on? Why the hell do we have to fight this guy? Luffy gestures toward Gaban, his voice laced with irritation. Luffy, demanding, just give us the key. Why are we even fighting over this, old man? But instead of answering, Gaban lets out a deep, amused laugh. His eyes gleam with mischief as he smirks at the young pirate. Gaban mocking, oh? What's the matter, kid? You don't think you can take it from me? Luffy's teeth grind together as anger flickers in his eyes. Luffy challenging TCH. You asked for it. Without another word, Luffy bursts forward, his feet kicking up dust as he dashes toward Gaban, fist raised. But just as he moves, a sudden voice cuts through the air. Nami shouting, Luffy, wait. Luffy barely hears her, his focus locked on Gaban. But in that moment, Zoro's mind flashes back to something important. Zoro, thinking, recalling Cologne's words, did you know my father was human too? Zoro, remembering he was a pirate, and he feared no one, not even the warriors of Elbaf. Zoro clenches his jaw, knowing what Luffy is up against. Luffy stretches out his arm, aiming straight for the key in Gaban's hand. Luffy, determined, we don't have time for this. Just hand it over already. But Gaban easily sidesteps, dodging Luffy's attack without even breaking a sweat. Luffy, gritting his teeth, damn it. Luffy's patience is wearing thin. Luffy, frustrated, yelling, come on, old man. The sooner we get back to Loki, the sooner we get back to the feast. Gaban chuckles, tilting his head slightly. Gaban, mocking, then hurry up and take it. Luffy narrows his eyes. This guy was toying with him. Luffy lunges forward again, but this time. Gaban coats the key with haki and slams it into Luffy's chest. A massive shockwave erupts as black lightning crackles from the impact. Luffy is sent flying, smashing into the ground with a thunderous crash. The battlefield shakes as a thick cloud of dust rises. Road, shocked, wait. Yasan. Nami panicked, no way. Luffy, gritting his teeth, Yua. From beneath the rubble, a shadow moves. Luffy emerges, shaking off the dust, his eyes burning with fury. Luffy, growling, wiping his mouth, TCH, that was dirty, old man. From a short distance away, Gaban smirks. Gaban, teasing, nice straw hat you've got there. Suits you better than that helmet, don't you think? Luffy's eyes widen for a split second, before his fists tighten. Luffy, angrily, shouting, damn right it does. Luffy, declaring, this isn't just some hat, it's a treasure. A treasure that Shanks let me keep for him. Luffy charges forward again, stretching both his arms, unleashing a flurry of attacks. Goma Goma no Gatling. But once again, Gaban dodges effortlessly, weaving between the attacks like it's nothing. Gaban suddenly stops dodging and thrusts his hand forward, shoving part of the key into Luffy's mouth. Luffy's head instantly takes the shape of the key for a second. Luffy's eyes widen in shock before he spits it out, face burning with frustration. Luffy, furious, shouting, idiot. It's not like that. Luffy, gritting his teeth, stop running your mouth like you know anything about Shanks. Gaban just grins. Gaban, smirking, haha. Right back at you, brat. And then, Gaban suddenly pulls out his twin axes. Zoro's eyes widen in shock. Zoro, what? Axes? Gaban spins them in his hands, his expression finally turning serious. Gaban, declaring Yesotakaru. Army of fierce warriors. He swings the axes forward, and a powerful force explodes toward Luffy. Zoro, yelling, Luffy, get out of the way. The battle intensifies. Luffy, still catching his breath from the last attack, suddenly senses the overwhelming presence of Gaban's haki. His face shifts, first into a look of surprise, then into a hilariously worried expression. Gaban doesn't waste a second. He grips his massive axes and unleashes a devastating barrage of blows, each swing carving through the battlefield like a hurricane. One of the castle towers is instantly reduced to rubble. Luffy barely dodges, flipping backward mid-air. The sheer force of the attack sends shockwaves through the ground. Zoro rushes in, swords drawn. His three blades ignite with dark lightning as he intercepts part of the attack, stopping what could have been a fatal strike. Gabon, thinking to himself, this kid has a damn good crewmate. From a safe distance, Nami and Road watch in complete shock, their expressions frozen in disbelief. Luffy and Zoro exchange a look. The tension is gone, only battle instinct remains. Luffy, grinning Zoro. You ready? Zoro, smirking, took you long enough. In an instant, Luffy's body shifts. His Gear 5 form bursts to life, his entire outfit turning white, glowing with raw energy. Even the Viking helmet on his head fuses with his hair, forming horn-like curls, his godlike presence shaking the battlefield. Zoro's swords crackle with black lightning, his aura flaring up to match Luffy's. Gabon, watching, thinking to himself, so this is the legendary white form. The power of Joy Boy himself. Without hesitation, Luffy and Zoro charge together, their combined strength about to strike down the legendary pirate. But suddenly, Gabon raises his hand. Luffy and Zoro's attacks miss as Gabon steps back, casually tossing the key toward them. Luffy and Zoro, moving too fast, crash into the rocks, tumbling uncontrollably. Luffy, furious, picking himself up. Old man, what the hell was that? Zoro, shouting, stop jerking us around. Gramps. Gabon, chuckling, brushes dust off his shoulders. Gabon, smirking, relax. I was just fooling around. Luffy, angry, fist clenched. You tried to kill me, and you think we're just gonna laugh it off? Gabon grins, completely unbothered. Gabon calmly, you're still alive, aren't you? Luffy and Zoro glare at him, but before they can respond, Gabon casually points behind them. Gabon, anyway, the key you were after? It's been right there behind you the whole time. Luffy and Zoro freeze. They slowly turn their heads. Sure enough, the key is lying on the ground behind them. Zoro, furious, veins popping. Road is about to explain who Gabon really is, but before he can speak, Gabon steps forward. He picks up his robe and casts a hat, his presence turning almost solemn. Cross swords Gabon, firmly, no need to rush, Road. Luffy and Zoro watch as he pulls his hat over his eyes. Cross swords Gabon calmly, by the time you leave this island, if Elbaf is still standing, come find me again. Zoro, grumbling, like hell we'd ever do that. Luffy, crossing his arms, pouting, yeah, he's right, you old geezer. But thanks for the key, though. Not seeing you again, got it. Gabon just chuckles, turning his back to them as he walks away. A flashback suddenly plays. Years ago, in Elbaf, a younger Gabon sits at a bar, arms crossed as he speaks with a certain red-haired pirate. Gabon, Shanks, you really expect me to trust that kid so easily? Shanks, laughing, ha ha ha. You're right. Do whatever you like, Gabon-san. Cut to Walrus School. A group of kids run toward Inch, their eyes wide with excitement. Kid gasping, Inch. We saw a strange bird flying by just now. Inch raising an eyebrow, a bird? She quickly glances up. But whatever they saw is already gone. Cut to a dense forest near Walrus School in the Sun World. Atop a massive tree branch, two mysterious figures land, Shamrock and Gunko. Shamrock, staring in awe. So even Elbaf has schools, huh? Gunko doesn't respond. Instead, she raises a hand. A bright, intricate magic circle appears beneath her feet, its glow illuminating the dark forest. Something big is coming. A black lightning bolt crashes down into the magic circle, sending a powerful shockwave through the air. In an epic double-page spread, two new gods' knights make their grand appearance. From the prestigious shepherd family, Jupiter's lineage, enters Saint Summers, a middle-aged man with long, flowing hair, a sharp beard, his goatee shaped like a cross, and a pair of sleek glasses. Summers lounges casually in a luxurious armchair, his surroundings suggesting the grandeur of nobility. However, something's off. He's only wearing a tank top and underwear, his finely tailored robe still packed inside a nearby trunk. Clearly, he was summoned before he even had a chance to dress properly. Holding a din mushy, he talks in an exasperated tone, half annoyed, half distracted. Summers, don't give me that. I need time to change and make some preparations. Give me an hour, okay. His face twitches as he listens to the reply. Summers, and what about the supplies? You know, the food. Surely, we're not gonna let the gods starve to death. Oi. Hello. What's wrong with this transmission? He sighs, clearly frustrated. The next arrival is St. Gillingham from the Limosif or Ramosif family. Though not officially confirmed, all signs point to him possessing the mythical Kirin Zoan fruit. White clouds float around his neck, a clear indication that his Zoan fruit is awakened. Gillingham appears in his hybrid form, a towering, beast-like figure with a long, flowing mane. His head resembles that of a horse, but with two sharp horns and elongated whiskers, exuding an air of divine authority. Clad in a military uniform similar to Shamrock's, he grips an unusual-looking trident. His face is partially obscured by a glass bubble, much like those worn by the celestial dragons, complete with a special respirator. However, he seems completely out of sync with the serious atmosphere. Gillingham, panicking, "Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna be late." Still half asleep, he scratches his head. "Gillingham, where was I supposed to go again?" Meanwhile, Shamrock and Gunko stand before them, unimpressed. Gunko, wide-eyed, quickly turns away in embarrassment as she sees Summers still in his underwear. Summers notices and raises an eyebrow. "Summers? Eh? What's wrong, Gunko? What brings you here?" His eyes suddenly lock onto Shamrock. Summers/Gillingham, in sync, shocked, HHH. "This is Elbath." The tension rises as Shamrock demands answers. "Shamrock, serious. Why were both of you summoned?" "I only needed one night." Gillingham tilts his head, then yawns. Gillingham, about that. "Seems like you've been summoned back to the Holy Land. Orders from above." Summers looks around, taking in the scenery. Summers, awed, so this is the legendary country of giants. Massive doesn't even begin to describe it. He pauses, then smirks. "Summers, what are you doing in a non-world government country?" "Paying respects at Harold's grave." As the chapter reaches its climax, we transition to an awe-inspiring final double-page spread, one that will send chills down the spine. Atop a towering, ancient branch, for God's knights stand like silent sentinels, overlooking the walrus school below, where young children go about their daily lives, unaware of the looming threat. Summers has finally dressed in his full military uniform, sleek, adorned with medals, a rose pinned to his chest. A sword rests on his waist, its handle covered in thorn-like designs. Summers calmly, but with a sinister undertone, all right. "So we're abducting kids and taking them to the Holy Land, huh?" He chuckles. Summers, "Well, not that these kids are small enough to fit in a bag." Gillingham, still half asleep, lets out a sigh. Gillingham, "People without the mark can't pass through the abyss. Guess we'll have to transport them by ship." ZZZZ. Gunko clenches her fists, visibly frustrated. Gunko, gritting her teeth, "This guy." The camera zooms in on Shamrock, his face darkened with shadow. His expression shifts into something truly sinister. "Shamrock, smirking with your powers, why don't you make this a game?" And just like that, One Piece chapter 1140 leaves us on a nerve-wracking cliffhanger. The God's Knights have finally arrived, but what sinister plans do they have in store for Elbath? And what does Shamrock mean by turning this into a game? Make sure to subscribe for more updates. Until next time, stay hyped and see you in the next chapter.